All right, in this video, we'll be going over how to read a file in Python. And we'll start off with a simple uh, dot text file. And we have it open here in our IDE. And it's a simple list of employees, right? So here I have myself as the professor, I have assistant, janitor, receptionist, chairman, specialist. So 7 lines of employees, right? So how do I access this file using Python? So we can invoke a uh, method uh, called open, and we want to open the employee file or the employees text file, right? And what we need to want to do if we want to read it, we'll simply put employees.text and then comma and then R. And you can have um, different modes in this argument here. If you have R for reading, A for appending onto the end of a file, a W for writing. Those are just some of the basic ones we'll go over in the next couple of sections. But for now, we want to just read the file, so we R. And what we're going to do is we're going to dump the file, the content of that file into a variable. We'll call it employee file. And so we'll open the file and dump the contents of that file into a local variable employee file. And if we want to open it and display it in the command console, we'll just simply write print employee file. And now what we want to do, if we want to just simply read, is see whether or not there's anything inside of the file, employee file. We can do a couple of things. We can actually open it and read it, and we'll see what happens when we do this. And here it'll spit out the contents of that file in the command console. But say we want to see whether it's actually a readable file, just simply put employee file dot readable, right here, and it'll spit out a Boolean variable, true for yes, it's a readable file, false if it's corrupted or unreadable. All right, so what else can we do with this? So we can do one other thing we'll go over today is, we go over to this this file and say you just want to read the the top line, all right? Uh, and all we do is read line, right? And that's another function here, and it'll print out the first line should be uh, Rab being the professor. So spits that out. If we copy this and do this again, it'll print out Rab and then Greg as an assistant, right? But um, say we want to do something a little bit different. Say we want to insert the different lines into a, a string of or some sort, an array, you could say, and an array in Python is a list. So say we want to put the various lines, each element of these lines into a list, right? So what we could do is use a different method called read lines, right? And we simply say we want to look at the first element in that list, we put 0, and it should pop out Rab being the professor down here. And so you can do that for so on. Next would be Greg. as the second element, etc., etc. So something you always want to do as well as a good practice is once you run the code, you want to also close the file. And so you do that by this .close. And once you close the file, you close that iteration, and it's just good file management. All right. So from here, let's talk about writing into a file. All right. So we talked a little bit about writing. So let's talk about appending. Say we want to append a new employee to the end of employees.txt. So we could use the letter A, and then simply put employee employee file dot. In this case, we want to write, and then inside of this, we'll say the new employee is Layla, and she's an admin. So let's see what happens when we do this, and also let's be good stewards and employee file dot close. And let's run this file. Let's run this program, and let's go back to employee files. And right here, you can see it appended at Layla towards the end of the file. But you can see it just added it to the last line. If we want to actually make Layla a new line, we'd have to put in something you would call an escape character. In this case, the escape character would be a new line character. So it would be \n and Layla, and then we'll rewrite this, and boom, Layla's towards the end, line 8 as the 8th employee. So let's go ahead and try something with, and let's try writing a file, writing either onto the file we have already or a brand new file. So we'll try the W function, or the W mode. So let's go ahead and let's say we want to change this to a W. Then what exactly happens? Let's go ahead and keep everything the same and run this file, or run this this program. It erases everything that was an employee file and adds just Layla. So when you do that, when you write, it'll overwrite the file that's originally there. So erase all of the original employees and just put Layla, or whatever the data might be. It will erase whatever the data is, and then make a new, overwrite whatever the original data is. So let's undo this, and then let's actually try to see that we can create a new file. Let's call it employees.txt, employees1.txt. So let's go ahead and run that. And now we've created a new file, employees1, with Layla as the only employee there. All right. So now that we've done all this, let's go ahead and look at some different methods in the next section for how to manipulate the loops that we've learned in the past, in particular for loops, to write or to overwrite files, to read files, and to create new extensions.